This is the Commodities, Scrap Metal Recycling and Economic Report, November 13th, 2023. U.S. weekly raw steel production fell to 1.699 million tons on slowing U.S. manufacturing. WTI crude oil price fell to $77.17 a barrel on the slowing increase in global demand. This was also on record U.S. oil production, record U.S. petroleum exports, but OPEC Plus production cuts. Note that 40% of October Chinese new car sales were electric vehicles, so that means less OPEC, Russian, and U.S. oil imports, which should lower prices. The U.S. weekly oil rig count fell to 494 on higher productivity per well and on disciplined production. Too high production brings lower oil prices and therefore lower profits. U.S. weekly oil production was steady at 13.2 million barrels per day for the fourth consecutive week, remaining at a record high. The U.S. remains the #1 global oil producer and the #1 global energy exporter of petroleum and natural gas. The U.S. became a net petroleum exporter in 2020 and continues expanding the net exports. Scrap steel #1 HMS price was steady at $330 a gross ton as supply and demand remain in balance. Hot rolled coil steel price rose to $45.12 per hundredweight, which is $902 a ton, on slowing demand but steel mill margin expansion. Copper price fell to $3.60 a pound on slow global demand increases but somewhat tight supply. Aluminum price fell to $1.01 a pound, which is $22.24 a metric ton, on slow demand and continuing slowing Chinese production. U of M November Consumer Sentiment Survey fell to 60.4, the lowest in 6 months, on concerns over interest rates, inflation, and the wars in Ukraine and the Middle East. Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, gave a speech. He said, quote, "We are not confident that the Fed's benchmark rate is high enough to steadily reduce inflation to the 2% target. Currently, the benchmark rate is at a 22-year high of 5.25% to 5.5%. U.S. weekly unemployment claims fell slightly to 217,000, near a 7-week high. Continuing claims rose to 1.83 million, the highest since April. This is bad news, it's also it's good news. More unemployment brings less inflation. The U.S. September trade deficit widened, meaning it became worse, to $61.5 billion, but it was the third best since 2021. Exports of crude oil, jet fuel, gasoline increased, while imports of cell phones, cars, and household goods increased as well. U.S. October Logistics Managers Index, which is warehouse pricing, capacity, inventory levels, and transportation prices. It increased to 56.5, the strongest since January. Warehouse pricing increased, while transportation prices fell the least since September 2022. Wall Street's Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 222 points to 34,283 as Moody's, the major credit rating agency, cut the U.S. government's debt rating to negative on the growing government deficits. Deficits have skyrocketed for the past 6 years. The market also likes that there's probably no 2024 recession coming. Roll-off rollers, nose and ground rollers for sale at Ben Lee for your roll-off boxes and dumpsters. The 4 most popular sizes are in stock at great prices and same-day shipment. Buy them online right now or call 734-722-8100 to order. This report is brought to you by Ben Lee Roll-Off Trailers, Gondola Trailers, Luggage Trucks, and Roll-Off Trailer Parts. As always, feel free to call or email me with any questions, and we hope all have a safe and profitable week.